Today, Bitcoin holds above $20,000 after a rough couple days. 10% of Ethereum's nodes face a ban on their cloud hosting service. And as NFT trading volume plummets, we talked to Anthony Georgiades of Pastel Network about what will bring investor interest back to the technology. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Crypto prices are rising to kick off the week after Bitcoin broke under $20,000 over the weekend. By noon Eastern, though, Bitcoin held above that $20K level, Ether jumped to $1,500, and Solana traded at around $31. Crypto investors are keeping a close eye on that $20K level for Bitcoin. A report from Glassnode found that demand for Bitcoin goes up around $20,000 as investors see it as an opportunity to buy Bitcoin before it goes back up. Now, if Bitcoin falls below that level, it could be a sign that these investors don't see $20K as a good deal and that Bitcoin could fall even further. That could lead to an even larger sell-off for the world's biggest cryptocurrency. And then there's Ether, which has seen growing volatility ahead of the merge. Bank of America says to expect Ether prices to fall ahead of that key upgrade. The bank says that investors may have realized the upgrade won't solve Ethereum's scalability and high transaction fees. All right, let's get to the top stories. First, cloud computing business Hetzner is banning crypto customers on its platform, and that could shut down some Ethereum validators. In a Reddit post, Hetzner said its terms of service prohibit crypto mining and staking through its platform. Around 2/3 of Ethereum validators are hosted on a cloud computing site, and according to ethernodes.org, around 15% of those are hosted by Hetzner. Those in the industry have voiced concern that Ethereum isn't all that decentralized if it relies on cloud services like Hetzner and Amazon, the latter of which makes up 55% of hosted nodes. Next, Sam Bankman-Fried says that FTX isn't buying Huobi. Bloomberg reported earlier this month that both FTX and Tron founder Justin Sun were looking to buy a majority stake in the crypto exchange. Sun previously denied those talks, and now SBF joined in with a tweet this morning saying that FTX is not planning on buying the exchange. Bankman-Fried has been on a spending spree, though, providing emergency funding to several businesses during the crypto downturn. Finally, NFT trading on OpenSea has evaporated this summer. According to DappRadar, trading volume on the platform fell from $135 million back in May to just $8 million last week. For our main story of the day, I spoke to Anthony Georgiades of Pastel Network. I asked him about the latest slowdown in NFT trading and what will bring users back to the technology. So OpenSea and others have seen a crash in trading volume. How do things look right now in the NFT market overall?
Absolutely. So from a pure market basis, I mean, look, there's no questioning that you've seen a complete dry up of overall marketplace volumes, overall NFT drops or releases. It's quite quiet, to say the least, in the space right now. And that's no surprise. You know, we've come out of a period of irrational exuberance on the backing of very, very low interest rates that supported a high amount of overall speculation in the space. Risk on assets such as cryptocurrencies in general and NFTs in particular have taken the brunt of that overall support over the last 3 or 4 years. As we start to see a tapering back and a reversal of that monetary policy, those same assets are getting hit the hardest. And needless to say, NFTs that are susceptible to illiquidity as a feature have that same sort of illiquidity as a risk. Right now, when people are trying to offload their NFTs to either pay taxes or seek more safe haven assets, they're finding that there's really no consequential buyer on the other side of the market.
So is there a particular area of NFTs that are holding up, or is it a slowdown across the industry?
Generally speaking, it's certainly a slowdown across the entire industry. I'd say that some of the more blue chip, well-known names have probably seen much more support in terms of overall underlying collection levels, in terms of the actual collection minimums. Bored Ape Yacht Club, anything from Yuga Labs, a lot of the Mutant Apes, and even some of the other side deeds. You know, you've seen CryptoPunks and whatnot that have not necessarily seen a complete dry up, and you still see pretty healthy liquidity, versus tons of other collections which have near to nothing in terms of overall 24-hour or weekly volumes associated with them.
How long do you think we stay in this downturn?
Your guess is as good as mine. It's obviously still very much so tied to the Fed and Powell, and obviously the market's overall appetite for risk on assets. We saw what happened last week in Jackson Hole after an 8-minute speech and what it did to the broader markets in general. But I would say that generally speaking, over time, the bullish sentiment towards cryptos and NFTs will continue to persist. We're seeing a number of different NFT use cases across financial products, digital identity, digital assets, gaming, etc. And those are starting to take a lot more institutional form and adoption. So we're moving away from a lot of the pure speculation towards a lot of the true institutional adoption and utility that's being derived from these, very novel digital assets.
So will a return to NFT trading coincide with the return to crypto more broadly?
Generally speaking, if you look at obviously the last cycle in terms of how NFT trading really evolved, it was certainly tightly correlated, almost in lockstep with a lot of the broader crypto trading itself. So there will probably be a resurgence in broader crypto trading and speculation that's tied towards a lot of the NFT trading and speculation itself. But again, going back to the pure point that over time, as NFTs really see more fundamental value in terms of the utility they derive, I think we'll see a lot more sustainable adoption and better price discovery.
What will it take to revive the NFT market? Is it interest from non-crypto businesses?
Absolutely. I certainly think we're going to see a lot less of the collections of 10,000 and the broader, hey, I'm going to acquire this NFT with the idea that tomorrow someone will pay more for it, or that it'll provide me with some future reward or distribution or value. It'll be a lot less of that and a lot more of what does this underlying NFT represent? And am I comfortable holding this NFT for 2, 3, 4, 10 years? Is it a piece of digital art from a creator that I'm absolutely in love with and believe that they will actually garner a higher premium and demand in terms of their art in the future? Is it access to a specific community? Is it proof of ownership? Is it a piece of digital data or identity that surmises some tangible value tied to it? So I think there'll be a lot more prudence and thought process that goes into the overall NFT trading in terms of how people really think through assigning value to a specific digital asset versus I'm going to flip this tomorrow.
Right. And so within that category of NFTs that you think will perform best in the future, what type is best poised to see success? Is it visual art, music, or is it something else?
It's interesting. We haven't necessarily even seen a pure visual art use case. A lot of the quote unquote digital art NFTs that have come out have been from almost crypto, pseudo crypto labs. If you look at Yuga Labs, if you look at CryptoPunks and things like that, these aren't necessarily pure digital artists, right? These are quote unquote NFTs that have art tied to it, but more than anything represent digital authenticity and ownership as membership to an exclusive club or community. I do think that we'll see an entree of actual true artists and collectors and creators coming into the space. That'll certainly be a huge part of the market into the future. But beyond that, I think things like gamification, broader gaming. We saw in the VMA Awards last night a concept of NFTs in the metaverse, where you could have a game, for example, and my player that I'm continuously building up in terms of credibility, points, rewards, etc., is tied to an NFT itself. And me as a player can actually monetize on that NFT. Somebody wants to jump into the game, they can effectively buy their way in and acquire my overall utility and success, therefore, to date.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today, but we will be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.